Okay. So let's talk about results of last week's experiment. Last week's experiment, I remembered very clearly that we all decided to sow seeds of methi or something like that in 2 containers. And then we decided to see which one grows well. Supposedly, the good thing, whatever you have spoken, very nice and good, should grow very well. Okay, so let me tell my experience with that. Since I was totally out of station, I didn't want to grow seeds in someone else's house. So I came back. Then I had only 2 days time. I came back on Saturday. So I had only 2 days time. And I decided, okay, let me try in 2 days. What happens? So naturally, I took methi and I took 2 different containers. One, I marked it as bad. Okay. The other one, I didn't mark anything. And then I maybe some of the mistakes which I'm probably trying to analyze here with all of your help. So I kept both together. So my question number one, when I'm talking all that very nice to the first one, second one also can hear, right? Second one also can feel it, right? Okay, so I put an intent somewhere away when I'm putting the seeds that you are the best, you are the good, and you will really grow well. And the second one, when I was putting, for some reason, I couldn't even say anything bad. So I just didn't put any intent. That's all. It's like absence of good thoughts. That's what it was. And then I put it. But so what? Sunday, Monday, 2 days, and Tuesday. Okay, 3 days. Whenever I'm moving around, I am only looking at the bad one. I'm getting scared that where if it gets the good thoughts. Okay. So with that, actually you feel that maybe all the good thoughts went to this thing because that grew very well. I mean, compared to the first one, the bad seems to have, more seeds have come out than the good one. And I am yet to see the leaves now because it's been only 3 days. But I see so much happening on the bad container. And the good container is also happening, but it seemed very boring. Okay, so my attention was always on the bad one. However, I never said any good thing or a bad thing, right? So maybe my whole intention part was only when I was sowing the seed. After that, there was nothing. And the next observation, it's not just me who's walking around. There are a lot of other people who are moving around, like my daughters and my maid, my husband. And also there's this gardener who is much interested than me and who is moving around and asking me, what is this? What have you put? Oh, shall I water it? I said, no, strictly me who's watering, and etc. So we don't know who put those good intention to how, what, I really don't know, right? So according to me, my experiment was a failure. Now, only that when it grows, I have to eat it and see how it tastes. But something, I gave a lot of focus to the bad one, and even that grew. Now, is it bad? I really don't know about that. That's really I'm not able to make out. So this was my experiment. Now I'll open for all of you to, yeah, Navina.
So I actually had a question with what what of your experience regarding that. Although you said you didn't put an intent, an absence of intent, but I don't know. With my knowledge, I feel that there is no vacuum in this whole universe, right? Even if nothing is there, something will get filled up. No, it was more of a focus or more of like whatever energies you carried or whatever other people it did pick up, right? Something it picked up. We can't say that it just because you didn't say anything it didn't pick up. Now it was its choice. What did it pick up or what was there in the entire environment? I think that was coming
Probably.
to my awareness and that I wanted to share. And I'm sorry, I couldn't do the experiment at all because I was very much engrossed with my personal commitments. I couldn't take out that time. But but as I'm doing with water, so I do it on a daily basis, like a daily thing. I bless the water daily, and I'm assuming that it is reaching every person of the family and it's doing some good, some healing and all. So that way, and I'm also just continuing with the earlier experiments that I am the field and I'm able to influence other people's thoughts. So, but this particular Methi thing I couldn't do. So I'm sorry about that. So nothing to share from my end.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, the next experiment is also about how your thoughts can shift the physical things.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
you,
you.
Navina.
Yeah, thank you.
Anna.
Yeah, I did it, but not much. Is both are same actually. Both look happy. Obviously, the positive, the one in which to which I said good things is a little better, slightly better, I would say, but not much difference between the two, frankly speaking.
Okay,
So
let's. Another thing is, it's like how much possibly it can grow in a week, right? That's also there. So we are seeing the interim. We have not got the final result.
And moreover, I put it in a plastic container. It's not in a big pot. The soil is not very, in deep. So I don't know what both are growing.
You put methi only.
Yeah, only methi.
Okay, methi is okay. Methi requires very less, soil. So that's okay. Also, what we are seeing is the interim result. We don't know. We are yet to see, right? So maybe make sure that you keep them in different places, and where even with your absence, if it can get exposed to harsh environment or feeling, maybe then you'll see a little different. That's what I'm planning to do. It only 2 days are over for me. I just made sure methis have survived. That was my first experience. Now I want to see, I want to put it somewhere else. I don't know which is that somewhere else part, but I'm planning to do that. So something like that you try. Separate them out, let them go differently. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Anna. Gauri?
So I had a very bizarre experience. I think the methi I got a new lot is very bad. It doesn't grow. Because I did that for the summer solstice also. Even that hasn't grown. And methi, I did one earlier. It sprouted in 3 days time. Yeah, you could see the...
Yeah, methi usually will sprout very fast.
So there's something wrong in the lot, I think. Or I will wait and see now. I've done some variation to it. Maybe it's got overfed with water because it's out in the balcony and it's been pouring in our...
Or maybe those seeds are not good.
I'm telling you that the seeds are not good because none of the pots, anything has come out.
Yeah.
I go with that the seeds are not good.
And
I get a fresh pot and then I'll repot it and then let's see.
No, that's also true, right? You don't know from where the seeds have come.
Honestly, because three pots and nothing has grown, and just earlier, a couple of days earlier, I'd sowed some seeds in some methi seeds from my previous lot before I got the new methi seeds, and that sprouted. I've got good microgreens in my pot.
Absolutely. So wherever the methi has grown, its origin means its plants. Those sets were not good. One, maybe it was not in the right environment. So it already is not a good seed. Now that if you're just putting your beautiful thoughts and everything, and in spite of all that, if they grow, then I will definitely believe this experiment. So try it.
I'm not giving it up. I'm going to still work on it. Let me see how it's not going to
try for another.
Something will come up.
At least one which will listen to you. Okay,
actually,
so
I saw one very small micro green today. So that's why I'm looking onto it.
So just sprinkle some extra little loving divine water on top of it and see.
I think it's all flooded with water, I think, because it's been out.
They're tired of water probably. Okay, something which is very nice for it.
I've actually turned the soil a bit. So I've done some there.
Maybe
and I'm leaving it out I'm keeping it away from the sun, from the rain. I'm putting it inside so that there's no water coming on it to it. Hopefully then in a day or two, it should dry and then it may just sprout.
Let's see what happens. It'll be most interesting. Thanks a lot, Gauri, for sharing that. Trupti.
I did the thing, I put it into disposable plastic cups, those glasses, and I wrote positive and negative in each of them. I put nice sellotape and all. And suddenly after 2 days, I was like, oh God, it's negative, the leaves are.
They're growing better.
I was like, what
High
is-
five to you.
Yeah, and I kept them together. So I think 1 or 2 days I went religiously, spoke to them together when the negative
You can
one.
do something. Just replace the labels, put it across like this and feel better.
No, that's right. So I was like, God, what should I tell? What is this negative thing? I started worrying. Then I said, forget it. It was in the balcony. Then 2 days back, I got it and I kept it in my kitchen. I thought because my clothes are not dry there, if it falls, something happens. So I've kept it in the kitchen. So yesterday I saw one green and the positive one. So I was like,
Wow.
okay, fine. There
So
is some
you kept both in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Now-
next to each other.
Okay. My only suggestion is leave the bad one in the balcony
Okay.
and put the positive one in your kitchen. What I'm trying to say is keep it separately in different places.
I
And
didn't
then
know
you
that.
see,
Hmm.
and then you see how it works. According to me, kitchen is a good place or a bad place? Do people talk a lot of their sorrow in a kitchen, or
But
it's
you don't.
nice because it's feeding place?
Yeah, but then you don't know how your house helps. Know if they are angry, what temperament they come with, maybe their energies.
That's also an experiment
They
which you
have
can
their
do.
own problems.
And nobody
that-
goes to the balcony, so it grows very well happily. I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, we can check it out.
So now next time not to keep them together, to keep them separately.
Yeah, that's what one thing
Important.
which probably we need to do is don't keep
Yeah.
together. At least that's what I am thinking, because I don't know. Mine is exactly like yours.
Yeah.
And then, and maybe I should, talk a little more, because I'm not talking to these plants. So I need to do that little bit more, and I'll observe in 1 week's time.
So do we do it again or the same one?
Continue that.
Okay.
Continue, because probably in just 6 days, nothing much happens even to Methi. So let's just observe, continue to observe and see how we affect it. And my only suggestion is, if you really do it like, putting all the good energy and thoughts into one, and bad energy and thought, or absence of the good energy, let's assume that it's just kept neutral, and
Hmm.
maybe you put some kind of a heavy metal music around it or something like that. I don't know. If you do so, then you do not consume the bad stuff. Right? Why like that? Even if you put a negative on it, why consuming that? Even words have energy, right?
Correct.
So maybe you can just
Take up the
let
negative.
them.
Yeah.
So in my, the one I did, the positive one, I put it in a very earthen pot, the basic terracotta pot. And the negative one, I was trying another experiment that I put in a very fancy pot and all. And I was like, cursing it, or not cursing it, but just generally telling it my Dubbari kahani and all that stuff, whatever I felt like, I kept telling it. Nothing came out in any of them, yeah. So that experiment also failed.
Let's try. We don't know. There's so much more than just the thoughts, right? That's what we are discovering. It's not just your thought.
They
It's
say,
also.
they say plants also talk to each other, na? So if you're putting
They-
both of them side
Yeah,
by side, so
Exactly.
they also that, okay, she's not said anything to you, but I've got all the good, so I share
yeah.
it with you.
Yeah.
and things
Even
like
I
that.
thought like that, because they are
Yeah.
like ourselves.
Mine
And they help each other, they talk and everything. That's also true. But there's also the seed itself is part of a bigger plant which has come from. And what kind of stress or trauma in terms of weather and, place, from where it has come, we don't know, right? If all the seeds are behaving like that, it's come from a place where it's not any good stuff, right? So that's also possible. So there's so much more. Yeah. Anna, you have something else to say?
No, but you won't believe it, in another group for the summer solstice, they did it, and the plants are like bushy. Methi seeds, I've never seen so bushy. Maine kaha, look, what have they done? It's like amazing. And mine are like slender and slim as if they're on a diet or something.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my methi, this has also sprouted. What we did in the shaman workshop na, with Gitu, that has also sprouted very nicely. But I put very few, and I put them in a Milkmaid tin. उसमें थोड़ा ये डाल के मट्टी और potting mixture डाल के मैंने कर दिया. So that turned out nice.
Let's see. And the intent was winter solstice was a very good intent, right? That's also possible. So there are too many intents also mixed here because we are all doing too many experiments. Okay, so the conclusion is we can't conclude anything. That's
Isha,
a very
can I-
strange. Yeah,
Isha,
yeah,
can I
Navina.
share an observation here? When I
Yeah.
was hearing all of you, I said how the entire group, somewhat influenced each other. I believe it was a group thing. Nobody is, came out very successfully as it was like intended or meant to be. Right, starting from you to all the people who shared. So it proves the previous experiments too, no? How we influence each other also by
Yeah.
being part of the FP.
Yeah, yeah.
All were working through some couldn't do, like I couldn't do at all, some did, some, all the mixed. So it was, I think the FP itself was quite influenced by each other. I think.
Yeah,
somewhere.
and it's like FP is telling that I don't know. I feel that it's not that easy. It's not that easy to understand it. What
Right.
all actually can affect the FP?
FP, yeah,
Or
because
what all?
we are, yeah.
Yes, we are not just us. We are also collective consciousness. We are also so many other things, right? And so it cannot be just, if you're thinking it's only you, it's wrong.
Yeah. And
Right?
also, you see, you said that even other family members, indirectly or directly, they are part of the FP because they were also moving around, some energies exchange, whatever happened. So it was not just us pure, like if we can see even the group energy, it was mixed of all the family members of each and every person. So there were so many energies involved, I was thinking.
Yeah. So however, we'll make a little bit of changes to those variables and constants of this experiment, like keeping them separately in different rooms and trying our best for another, because methi usually I'll tell you it's a 15-day crop. So once in 15 days, again, you'll have to replant the methi because by then you will consume it. Okay, that is 2 weeks to 3 weeks growth. So we still have 2 more weeks. So continue to grow, continue to do your experiment. It's like at the end, what happens when you see it, then you'll be able to conclude a little bit better, provided you have controlled these variables as in they don't see you other than anyone else, and you have kept them separately, you have talked something proper and bad thing for the other, then only you'll be able to prove it. Otherwise, just you put methi and then think, no, I don't think that works. That's not even an experiment, right? So we will try that. And did you try, anybody kept trying about your body kinesthetic? Like how we use body to understand yes or no, should I do it or not? Should I eat it or not? Something like that. If not, keep trying it because that's one of the most wonderful tool when you are confused for your body to make for you. Okay. Okay, so if no one has any question or anything more to share, we'll start the next experiment. Okay, so I'll stop the recording.